I really don't mean to sound insensitive, but I'm just being practical. Um, I think that for a second, if everyone in America can just like agree to like put their feelings about each other, you know, ethnic groups or like women or gender or whatever, political affiliation, if we can just like put all of those things down for a second and really just pay attention to like the crumbling infrastructure of this entire country and just agree that as American citizens, as tax-paying American citizens, that we that everybody deserves quality of life. I don't think that anyone on any side, like anyone with any influence on the left or the right, really understands the concept of community and nationhood and okay, so when your neighbor has access to clean water and they have access to soap to like clean their house and they have access to medicine and all of that other stuff, and they have access to sanitation in their neighborhoods and like all that shit, that actually helps to make your life better. Money is an illusion, so it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter. Like, when everyone has a nutritious meal, when everyone has clean water, when everyone has clean air, when everything is clean, and you see it like I always talk about food apartheid. You see how like things are siphoned off for just like certain communities. Like, it makes no sense to me that I didn't know what quinoa was until I was like 25, and I had been making millions of dollars since I was 20, but just because of food apartheid, we never had quinoa in the supermarkets where I lived. Like, we didn't have kale in the supermarkets where I lived. We had collard greens, we had iceberg lettuce, we had tomato, we had onion, we had carrot. But we didn't have any of this, like, any of these new, like, fruits and vegetables. They're new to me. And I truly, truly, honestly think that these issues take precedent over, like, the issues about, like, trans healthcare or, like, gender, like all this shit with the kids and the gender. Like, no. Like, we need to make sure that regardless of what's gonna happen, surgeries or whatever the fuck, regardless of that, we need to make sure that this person has like clean water running out of their tap. We need to make sure that this person's like kidneys are gonna work. We need to make sure that this person has a meal, like a real meal. I don't understand how this country can pride itself on being like such a top nation, but like it's literally designed to kill you. And this is not me saying that trans healthcare is not a priority, and because actually, like, I've said time and time and time and fucking again, like, these psychiatrists can't even fucking diagnose, well, I guess, quote unquote, a regular person would be like a regular white person, because the DSM is really written from a white man or white person's point of view. They're I guess just and analysis of everybody else's behavioral patterns in compared to their own white socionormative behavioral patterns and shit. So I think the field of like psychiatry and psychology is like kind of fucked anyway. So when something so major and like something like so life-changing as changing your gender and taking, you know, hormone therapies, or in the case of trans men, you know, testosterone is actually a steroid. You know, when you're like, you know, in the case of that, there's not been enough like work done on just kind of how to protect the mental health of these people. You know, like there's no like book of like or just like dietary book, or like there's no like herbal suggestions. Like there's, you know, like shit. Like I like they like throw these girls like a bag of fucking hormones and a bag of fucking pills, and they're like, good luck. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's irresponsible. And, you know, I don't understand how America has completely skipped over, you know, the tobacco issue. Actually, I feel like tobacco is a bigger issue than gun control. Like, you know, like tobacco is the leading, it's the leading cause of preventable disease and death in America. And now we're here talking about like giving children puberty blockers and all this other shit. And it's just like, I feel like we're skipping a lot of steps. Not to say that any of these other things are not important, but like, you know, we are skipping a lot of steps. Like, why is there not a tobacco ban? Like, really? You know, like it's like you got Ron DeSantis. Like, first off, you're too, like, there's something mental happening with you. You are way too obsessed with just like what other people are doing in their sex lives. You know, like you're just too obsessed. And I mean, honey, we know, you know, like you don't have to keep like trying to deny it or like, you know, say it. Like, actually, like, you do yourself a better service by just not talking about it at all, you know. But just the fact that you're talking about it so much, like, it's very clear very clear to us queer people, like, what is actually going on. But I feel like you don't have to be a Republican or a Democrat to realize that, you know, tobacco is a bigger issue than being gay. You know, like, being gay never gave anyone, like, fucking, like, you know, like, I mean, whatever. Like, I'm not going to get into the semantics of that, you know what I mean? But, like, simply being gay and, like, having love for someone that is of the same gender or whatever, like, you know, and there's a million and one. I can't even keep up. The pansexuals, I don't know what's going on, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like all of this kind of like gender identity weird stuff is kind of leading down this rabbit hole towards pedophilia, you know. And I don't think that it is the doing of the queer community or the gays. I think that it is, yeah, the doing of people like Ron DeSantis. So just like all these like, okay, first off, whoever is your like campaign coach, whoever's like in the writing room for Ron DeSantis, like, needs to be fucking fired, because bitch, you're getting sued by Mickey Mouse. Like, I don't think you understand how long Mickey Mouse's money is. Like, no, Mickey Mouse is like the original fucking drag queen. Like, you're kidding? Like, Mickey Mouse is the original Tiginal. Like, bitch, what? Mickey Mouse is like, no. Like, no, just no. And that just looks stupid to the world, you know. Like, why the fuck, like, do we have like anyone in office who thinks that it's appropriate to be fucking like going back and forth with fucking Mickey Mouse? You know, like, I think that cigarettes are a bigger issue than Mickey Mouse's gay pride parade. And I just feel like, furthermore, like, clearly Ron DeSantis is not like an actual politician. I don't think you actually like Like I don't think he actually understands any of the foundational, or just the fundamental doctrines upon which, like, quote unquote freedom in this country are like built upon. Like, the Bill of Rights prohibits federal like intervention in, or just like like a federal ability to establish like a nationwide faith or religion or whatever. And I think that, who you choose to love and all that other stuff, I'm not saying like, oh, gay is now a religion. It could be, I don't know, but the two kind of go hand in hand, and you're violating lots of federal laws. You're violating a lot of federal laws and actually pissing on, nothing of like I feel like Republicans always pull this bullshit patriot, like I'm a patriot and all this other shit, but you're actually not, because you're not paying attention to what has actually been laid out before you, and you're using all of your insecurities and idealism and just like male bullshit to just, and you're using your opinions as fact or whatever. Granted, in the case of the children, yes, no, there will be no inspecting of children's fucking genitals before they go play sports or anything. Like, no, that's ridiculous. Also, with regard, because I can't even believe that, like, we're here in 2024 and having conversations about, like, children's sexuality. This is, like, ridiculous to me. It's really fucking ridiculous to me. Like, I mean, like, people will still hold things that I've said on Twitter above my head, like 8 years ago, but I mean, like, shit, I was a kid. That was my time to be, like, a fucking young dumbass and, like, explore boundaries and, see, like, how far I could get with certain things. But, like, this right here is, like, okay, this is another level of just, like, social menacing that I don't think Azealia Banks's Twitter account or, like, opinions have ever fucking reached. Like, this is very disturbing, the fact that I am even having this conversation right now. So just lastly, I think that lots of these politicians are complete fucking airheads, and they don't have any, they really don't have very good, like, critical thinking skills. People like to make fun of Geminis because they always say that we're two-faced, but no, we're not two-faced. We're able to see the problem from both sides and understand the problem from both sides. And, these politicians have to stop trying to be physicians. They have to stop trying to be scientists. Stop trying to be psychiatrists. Stop. And there definitely needs to be way more science. I remember when I was a little girl, I would see commercials on TV, and it'd be like, 1 in 9 people in America will end up with, cancer, some sort of cancer at some point in their life. And by the time I was maybe 22, I would see that same commercial, and then the number was reduced from 9 to 3. So 1 in every 3 people in America will experience some sort of cancer in their lifetime. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to realize that, maybe all of this, like, lax regulation with tobacco and fucking fast food and just, like, all this bullshit, like, like food science and shit like that might really be playing a role in disrupting the endocrine systems of every American. Now, this is not that I'm not saying that to be like, oh, no, because I have a trans brother, like I know firsthand because I've watched, I watched it. I know firsthand the sufferance and like just how just how out of place you like someone can feel, just being born in the wrong body, because there is a mind, there is a spirit, there is a body, there is a soul, there is a self, and those are all different things, and that's really spiritual and whatever. You can call it pseudoscience, whatever, but it's the fucking truth. Now, I'm not saying that the food is making the people gay or the food is making the kids trans. It's not what I'm fucking saying at all. But all of the fucking food science, like I could think about it, like in public school. Kid goes to school, first thing in the morning, what does he get? He gets like some sugary corn muffin, gets like some fucking wheat cereal, milk, barely any fruit, and then he comes back to the lunchroom, during lunchtime, and he gets this big old greasy, like, slice of fucking bread with just oil and just like all this artery clogging cheese and another carton of milk, and then in between classes they have the options to go to these vending machines that are just full of fucking sugar, like full of fucking sugar. Then on top of that, just going back to my feelings about just American psychiatry and how bullshit it is. It's really just like, yeah, they make up I feel like they make all these things up to just kind of like criminalize people who just don't want to assimilate, like, and just the audacity of I've always felt like whiteness as a social construct was like a serious form of sociopathy, just to think that you are status quo, like as if you gave birth to your fucking self, and just teaching or just, just kind of spreading the idea that everyone else's existence is a consequence of them not being white is sociopathy to me. So, the kids get in school and okay, so you got Ron DeSantis. He's trying to fucking ban all these books and all this other shit like that. But the kids get in school, and first off, they're children. You're locking them inside. You're locking them indoors under fluorescent lighting during the daytime when they should be outside getting vitamin D and like being free, happy human beings. And all sorts of shit like that. And it's like, fucking 8:30 in the morning, and they're like in their social studies class, and you're teaching them about the fucking KKK. Like, no, the kid doesn't have fucking ADHD. He just doesn't want to fucking read about the goddamn Ku Klux Klan at 8 in the fucking morning. So I think that instead of, blaming gay adults, adults, people who can do whatever the fuck they want and, usually aren't parents, I always make the joke, especially with TPXO and Pussy Boy and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, the gays got expendable income because they ain't got no kids, these are people who don't even fucking have kids. So to blame them for influencing kids birthed to heterosexual couples is just really asinine to me. And to do that and then look over the fact that we are drugging the fuck out of our children here in America. The kids are being drugged. Yes, sugar is a fucking drug. The kids are being drugged with the sugar. They're being drugged with the fucking Adderall. They're being drugged with the goddamn fucking Prozac. They're being drugged left and fucking right. Do you not think that, giving a kid a fucking Ritalin prescription or an Adderall prescription, You don't think that could be what's like driving the fucking hypersexualization of, well, actually, I don't fucking know what it's doing, because I don't know what to believe. I don't know like what's really an issue. I'm just like seeing, just taking it all in from this fucking like adult gigabit iPhone bullshit. But like, you don't see that maybe the Ritalin prescriptions, maybe the Adderall prescriptions, maybe the soda, maybe the candy, maybe just like, yeah, maybe it's because of the fucking environment. Maybe there's shit in the fucking water. Maybe there's shit in the air. Maybe there's like shit in the food. Like, please, will some please, somebody like with a fucking like common sense and like just science, like just somebody just please step in. Please step in before like this shit just fucking blows up, because these politicians are fucking stupid on the left and on the fucking right. On the left and on the fucking right, they're all fucking idiots. And I feel like you need to have like a degree in something to lead people in a society.